What's your view on the overall status of the statues, up or down or whatever? I mean, how do you view it?
It's okay that they're there. I didn't mind it. I know it stood as a symbol of oppression, a world order that was enacted to continue to keep people economically, socially depressed. However, it's part of the sediment. I mean, to erase them is almost like erasing history, right? You need that push. You need to remember. We live in this society where we're in a state of constant amnesia. There's always the new, the next thing, the next thing. People don't even know their histories. To make plain what your history is, you know, and to always have new narratives to emerge allows that history just to be what it is, history.
VMFA, you guys physically are located right next to the Daughters of the Confederacy. That's not lost on me, that kind of metaphor.
No.
We're living in a place.
Yes.
We are right next to each other.
The beautiful alabaster building that's right next door.
I'm sure they have a curator not as good as yourself.
Well, I'm sure they do. Who's rewriting history as we speak. I mean, it isn't. I mean, and the United Daughters of the Confederacy were a part of that whole movement of erecting.
Right, that's how the funding.
Yes, exactly.
Came.
That's exactly the way, and the textbooks.
Right.
So in terms of affixing a narrative, they were part and parcel of that. So you're constantly in a state of acknowledging history, but also expanding that history.
Right.
There was a soliloquy, you know, there was only one person speaking, and they were not telling the right story.
Do you guys feel like you have a responsibility to help the rest of the community understand this point in time or what we could be? I mean, what is the role of VMFA in the community, you know?
Well, I mean, this museum is the people's museum.
Yeah.
And our role is to really be reflective of the community that we sit amongst. We are here to tell the stories. And we're an encyclopedic museum, so we could be very thoughtful in how we do that. History is constantly unfolding.
Right.
And artists speak to that. Artists are not the sort of romanticized notion of being, you know, hermetically sealed, and they're just working and endeavoring in a vacuum. Artists are citizens of this country. They absorb the things that are happening in the world. Do they want to reflect it verbatim? Do they want to repeat it verbatim? No. You know, sometimes they're speaking to history, the history that has been, the history of art. They are always in conversation. And so it's my job to bring those conversations to the museum.
There's so much more to explore, and we want you to join us on The Good Road.
For more in-depth content, meet us on the internet at thegoodroad.tv.
Hear more great stories, connect to organizations, and make sure you download our podcast, Philanthropology.